Well, over 30 hours of questioning with respect to the whole National Herald case for Rahul Gandhi. I'm now joined by Mr. Robert Vadra with me, the Congress General Secretary Priyanka Gandhi Vadra's husband, as well as obviously the brother-in-law of Rahul Gandhi. Let's try and have word with him and understand. So what is your first response to this whole allegations of money laundering that have come across Mr. Rahul Gandhi?
These are baseless allegations. These are totally politically motivated, and it's only a witch hunt. And if I'm saying that, it's out of experience, and I have dealt with this for since the BJP government's been in power. I can say that anytime there's an election anywhere in a state, and whoever's a hopeful for a CM, his family is, some old cases are put on them, as in, the timing is that if there's an election, that's the time the ED will act on it. If it's Punjab or it could be West Bengal, we've seen in both these states how the ED acted, and post the elections, you don't hear of these cases, and everything gets sidelined. Right now, I think the BJP government is trying to hide from all the wrongdoings and sayings of their colleagues, ministers in their government, who are talking about religious, and they're using religion and politics, religious politics. They, and communal disharmony is created around the country, and an old 10-year-old case has been found at this time, which can overshadow the BJP's issues, which the whole country is upset with. And hence they are, from all corners of the country, I feel people are revolting, and they are protesting, and they are in support of Rahul, not only congressmen, but regular people who are not in politics. So you'll find the congressmen, definitely the veteran ministers who are languishing in hospitals right now because of the administration on the behest of the BJP to make sure no person wearing a kurta pajama can enter the whole area which is barricaded. This is what I was told, that the police have been informed. And in fact, they don't need to cross the barricades. The police is going into the AICC and various other ministers' homes Congress people's homes. But I think I see a lot more people joining Rahul, because if you speak to any person in the country, if you talk about the agencies, you will find that most of people would say the agencies are working on the behest of the government, whenever, whatever, if there's any wrongdoing or anybody who can outdo them, they would have ED, they have to entertain the ED parallel to their elections. We see this in various other parties at this point of time. And, and I would say that, yes, Rahul is a leader who speaks for all the underprivileged, every person in this country, and he brings all their issues up in Parliament, and he fights for the people. Maybe at the time of COVID, when the government was not focused on health care for people who were falling ill, he talked about a tsunami of COVID tsunami, and the BJP people laughed at him. And also for the farmers with their agitation for a year, he protested for them, he stood for them, he talked for them in Parliament, and BJP took the 3 bills back. The thing here is that it's very clear there's a leader, the only leader of the opposition also, who's speaking for the people, who's not intimidated, who's not scared. He fights for the people. And, so an old 10-year-old case, which is baseless, has been used at this point of time to cover up all the wrongdoings of the BJP, and they use the agencies once again.
Sir, from the side of the agencies or, from the sources that we get to understand, in fact, it was yesterday that was seen, that in his answers, while Rahul Gandhi speaks about whatever has happened, he's somewhere going ahead and talking about the alleged transaction, and that was all done by one Mr. Motilal Vora, who's no more right now, late Mr. Motilal Vora. How do you look at this? Because the opposition is somewhere saying that how such kind of answers can come up. It is like someone who has just gone. The blame has been put on that. And also the allegations, as you or all across people are talking about, the hours of questioning. So the officials go ahead and say that it is some few hours of questioning that is happening, but it's more about the recorrection that Rahul Gandhi is doing to his answers, and that's why from morning 11 to night 10 or 11 is when he's coming up.
I'm glad you've asked this question, and I'm obviously very experienced where this is concerned. I don't talk about too many political issues or politics as such, but in this case of Enforcement Directorate and other agencies, I can speak freely out of experience because I've been there with them 15 times, and with the that's the Enforcement Directorate, and with the Income Tax 5 times, interrogations for hours together, and I understand their modus operandi. I understand the dynamic that is there, and it's basically all optics, and it's basically politically motivated. I would say that because when you're sitting there, the first, if everybody asked me, since you were there and you experienced, what did you tell Rahul before he went for his interrogations? The only thing I told Rahul, that what they're going to claim is you're not cooperating with them, non-cooperation, even before he started his interrogation. And I know Rahul. He's there to answer every question. He'll answer every question. What happens in those interrogations, we outsiders cannot be talking about it. And I'll tell you why. Because whenever you have a case which is pending in courts, you call it sub judice. When it's sub judice, you don't discuss that topic. Whilst all these small, internal information is coming out via the Enforcement Directorate, which should not be revealing what the minutes of the meeting are, interrogations are. Rahul will answer every question thoroughly, clearly, and it will all be clear before he leaves. He will definitely be there for more hours than they desire. I know that. And he will, when you write down all the answers, the questions and the answers, and they could be from 50 to 60 to 70 questions in the matter of 10 to 12 hours, believe you me, that these have to be answered thoroughly. And you cannot make a mistake because all of this is going to court ahead. And you have to read everything before you sign under it. So this is not child's play. This is not something that you're just sitting there and say, I've answered all the questions and it's correct. And these things are, I was asked questions which were 20 years old. From when I initiated a company, where did I earn my first rupee, why was my father started his business in Moradabad, and so on, which does not even, have anything to do with the subject of the summon that I was called for. But I answered everything because I do not want to give them even one percentage of a doubt or for them to think that I'm not cooperating with them. But still, it was said that I was not cooperating with them. 15 times, 12 hours a day, I was there. I went to every agency. And as I said, in income tax, when there's an issue, you have an assessment of a company, you have a reassessment, and if there's any wrongdoing, there's a penalty that is instilled, and then you pay the penalty, and it's over. But with ED cases, it's never over. One is that you do not need 4, 5, 10 days. You can ask those questions, and it can be very categorical and clear. And yes, a person has to read. They have to read their questions. They have to answer the questions. It takes time. And it's not only Rahul himself. I know that the officers get tired and they keep changing around. They want their lunch breaks. They want, they want to have their, go to the toilets and so on. But I'm just telling you that when Rahul got a chance for even to get his lunch break, he went to see his mother who's ailing, who's troubled about this witch hunt that's going on. And he returned, and he will, as I said, he will comprehend to, he will totally be with all the rules, regulations. He will answer every question. And, we cannot be discussing what was his answer or how he said it or whatever, simply because right now the interrogation is going on. And for us to stipulate or, think that why it was like this or what it was like, it would be incorrect. So I think let the interrogations go on, and there are courts, and there's, we definitely believe in the judicial system of the country, even if we don't believe, with BJP and the agencies and so on. We believe in the judicial system of the country, and I hope that everything will be clear legally, and that's my experience, and that's what we hope for.
Tomorrow again Rahul Gandhi has been called, and in coming days it's Mrs. Sonia Gandhi who's also been called. How do you look at it after Rahul Gandhi? Within some few days or so, Mrs. Sonia Gandhi is also summoned.
When I was...
Is she all well right now? She's in...
my mother-in-law is still in hospital, and we have to wish for her good health. And we were with her when she was taken to the hospital the night before Rahul went for his interrogation. And I must say this, that Rahul, after staying the whole night with his mother, he still said, no, I must go. I do not want to ask for any change of dates, times, or anything like that. I will go for the interrogation, even if I've slept 3 hours. And yes, he was there on time, keeping his mother in hospital and in a very sensitive state of health. And yes, so the doctors feel that she will be having to stay there because her health is not good at this point of time. But I think Rahul has been brave enough to go every day there. And even if he, sits in the enforcement director's office for more than 11 to 12 hours, and even all the officers start leaving the office of the ED office, you'll see that Rahul will stay on with 2 officers to read up everything, clear everything, and make sure if anything's correct or incorrect or whatever. I mean, he just signs after he's sure about it. You have to do that. So that takes time. And the thing is that, so he's totally cooperating with the agencies. I must say that. I must state that, keeping in mind that his mother is in hospital. And this has to be really seen. I give him, definitely a handshake for that. But I would say again that he's never going to, shy away from being at any agency or answering any questions. And, obviously we cannot be a judge of what's right and wrong. I think there are, obviously, it will go to court, and, they'll be the judge of that. And how ED relates, whatever questions are asked, he will answer them clearly.
Well, sir, how do you look at this very particular point wherein there are certain statements, or rather opposition goes ahead and says that how the Congress is trying to somewhere save Gandhis because their corruption is exposed, and that's why every person is seen on ground from Congress party. That is from the side of opposition one. And somewhere a kind of remarks that come in wherein people say that if these sea of protesters that are seen otherwise, since past 3 days, if they were seen more for betterment of a common man, there would have been a strong opposition.
Okay. See, as I said, and I'll repeat, because the BJP had created all kinds of communal issues and talked about communal issues, and communal disharmony is created all over the country. People have been very hurt. People are hurt. They have stood up, and and also they want to support Rahul because they know the ED is being misused and the agencies are misused, and they feel Rahul always talks for the poor and for the people of the country in Parliament. So a leader who is speaking for them, who finds some kind of solution for their problems, who always fights for them, people from all over the country are standing up and they're protesting that this kind of behavior of intimidation and trying to fear or optics of calling a leader who fights for them should not be done. And also they needed a platform, they need a leader, because when you create communal issues created by BJP government, obviously people are going to be upset and stand up and protest against what's happening with the ruling dispensation. I will say that Rahul is strong enough, he'll answer every question, but you'll be surprised that, it's not only Congress ministers and Congress workers, it's people from all over the nation are with him. So the thing is, if you're saying that we should be talking about where there is no jobs, the economy, healthcare, and infrastructure, but infrastructure is only the focus of BJP's infrastructure is making the Vista project, not new hospitals. For COVID, which is, they think again we are over COVID. COVID is still around. Forget about the Vista project. They should be making new hospitals, new structures for people, looking for jobs for people, creating a better economy, infrastructure. All of this has to be focused on. If we as the Congress party, I don't know about the other opposition leaders, I'm saying a Congress party fights for the people and bring these topics up, all of them, on the road. The thing is, you know what they'll have to go? They won't have to walk towards the parliament. They'll have to walk towards the ED office and complain to the ED office, and then you will find the whole media will cover it, that's the place we should be complaining to. That's when the coverage will be there. It's not that if they go to the parliament or they go to any other place, because they've been voicing the people's woes and issues, but nobody covers it. Nobody's seen that. I mean, you'll see that they'll have to go to the ED office or any other agency's office for them to be heard.
Well, I don't agree to this, but then, okay, so going ahead and, very last question to you. Overall, how do you look at this and how things are going ahead? How Gandhi family is going to go ahead and, plan it out, or is gonna be, I'm sure all whole families together, but how do you foresee ahead? Because as I was again saying, that it's in coming time, it's also Sonia Gandhi who's being summoned.
When I was summoned for 15 times and I was summoned for hours together by agencies, well, the only thing I felt terrible, I was willing to go anywhere, any corner of the country if they called me, and for as many hours. But when they called my mother, who was 74 years of age at that time, and she was ailing, and she had to go to Jaipur and sit with them, and they were like asking her all kinds of questions, and she's just a 1% partner of my company. And the thing is that she's just supporting her son, what's it called? They asked her to sit down there, asked her all kinds of questions, kept her in a room separate to mine. Their behavior was not very good. And I see this, and I don't wish this on Mrs. Gandhi, because Mrs. Gandhi, whose her husband was sacrificed, her mother-in-law was sacrificed. They, the whole family has been there since independence, helping this country progress. And and she's given all her life. And when she was going to be prime minister, and nobody could stop her from being prime minister, she said that was not my objective. My objective was to help the people of the country, help the country progress, not for me to become prime minister. So at this point of time, a leader as such, especially when she's unwell, is asked to summoned on some case which is 10 years old, plus the kind of optics and the kind of dynamic they've created of harassment, and it's totally motivated from BJP, and it's a witch hunt. They should not be. They should respect a person like Mrs. Gandhi, keeping her health in mind, and she's not somebody, or none of us from the family need to hide anything, but we are relevant. We talk for the people, we fight for the people, we bring up everything at Parliament, and we are not scared to bring it up, no matter what the outcome will be, and we will fight for the people. Hence, we will always be, dealing with the BJP and their ways and methods of trying to put fear or intimidate. But I feel Rahul will come out stronger, Rahul will clear the cases and he will come out a stronger person, a stronger politician, and more people will join him and be sturdy with him, and you will see that we will grow as a whole Congress party, and every opposition leader is going to be back, and we'll be stronger because of all this.
Well, yes, that's Mr. Robert Vadra, who goes ahead and says that no one from Gandhi family and otherwise are going to fear, as per him, the kind of witch hunt that is going around, talking about the whole ED summons as more of witch hunt and more of political motivated, is what he feels. But video journalist Akash from Delhi for NewsX, this is Urvashi Khona.
For more such videos, subscribe to the NewsX YouTube channel, hit the bell icon.